What's up investors, it's the Russian Dude and this is your daily update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Today we're going to talk about Russia legalizing Taliban diplomat, which basically means that both countries are looking for ways to establish relations, as well as the dire situation on the gas market in Europe. And the main question here is that whether Russia will shut down its gas pipelines. In this video we can see a Russian tank shooting at civilian building in Mariupol, Ukraine. It is reported that this building had Ukrainian snipers inside. And in this video you can see soldiers from Chechnya who are fighting for Russia in this conflict in the middle of the military action. A couple of days ago the government building in Nikolaev, Ukraine was bombed with Russian missile, and these are the most recent pictures. A pretty big fire was spotted in Saltykovka, Kharkov region, Ukraine. And also the gas pipeline was destroyed yesterday in Kharkov, Ukraine, leaving approximately 34,000 residents without gas. Russia has accredited one Taliban diplomat, which basically means they acknowledged him as a legitimate representative. And just so you know, for comparison reasons, it is illegal to use Instagram in Russia because otherwise you'll be extremist, but Taliban is okay. This bridge in Savintsy, Kharkov region, was allegedly destroyed by Russian army. And in this picture you can see how reinforced the office of President of Ukraine is. In this video, allegedly Russian tank is being destroyed by Ukrainian army. And this map shows every single bombing that has happened on the territory of Ukraine since the beginning of this military operation. And by the way, if you want to see this full video, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna upload it very soon. In order to combat rising inflation and surging oil prices in America, the Biden team is thinking about releasing oil barrels from its strategic petroleum reserve. At this very moment, they are exploring their opportunity to release approximately 1 million barrels per day. Just for the reference, in 2021, the US was consuming approximately 19.7 million barrels of oil per day, which basically means releasing 1 million barrels per day will approximately account about 5% of daily consumption. So in this case, I don't think we can expect that the oil prices will decrease more than 5%. And if you ever wondered how many barrels of oil US has in its strategic petroleum reserve, at this very moment it is approximately 580 million. But let's not forget that originally this strategic reserve was mainly created to help Americans fight against natural disasters. So reducing oil prices is definitely not the main purpose of this oil reserve. But I guess you know the midterm elections are coming and they gotta get some extra votes. And even though this is just the decision which is yet to be made, this has already great impact on the oil prices, which at this very moment is approximately $101 per barrel. A couple of weeks ago this guy was spotted doing a silent protest against the war in Moscow, Russia. This jacket basically says that this is his grandfather's jacket who survived World War II. And during the World War II he was starved and very much afraid. And so this jacket basically says that he doesn't want the same to happen. But well, it did not stop the police from arresting him, and now he is facing $450 charge. The Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, spoke with the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, on the phone, and he mentioned that Putin agreed to keep payments for gas in euros and dollars. But nevertheless, Russia will still receive Russian currency rubles. It is just that the initial payment can be made in different currency, which basically means that those countries who wish to continue doing business with Russia must open their bank accounts in Russian banks in Russian currency ruble. And this is the very basic blueprint how payments in gas will be received by Russia from now on. First of all, gas will be purchased using, for example, euros. Then these euros will be transferred to the bank account opened within Russian bank, and then they're going to be converted to Russian rubles. And only after this, Russian rubles will leave the bank account and go to the account of the gas company, such as, for example, Gazprom, and only after this, the delivery of gas will begin. And in this video we can see the reaction of the dog after hearing the explosion. Very productive Russian-Ukrainian talks happened this Wednesday. And one of the main conditions that was achieved is that Ukraine agrees to become a neutral country for as long as there are safety guarantees. And safety guarantees in this case means that some countries who are willing to become Ukrainian guarantors will need to protect Ukraine in case there is a military intervention. And in very basic understanding, protection means sending weapons and closing airspace. One of the very first countries which volunteered to become Ukrainian guarantor was Germany. And today, the second country which is volunteering to be a guarantor is Italy. It was also expected that the United States of America would become one of the guarantors of Ukraine. However, the White House mentioned today that they are still not ready to talk about becoming Ukraine's guarantor. Which basically means that here we have America, who is constantly criticizing other countries countries for not helping Ukraine enough, and now as soon as there is a possibility for direct involvement of the USA in this conflict, they're hesitating. The Consulate General of Slovenia in Kiev, Ukraine, was asked to remove their flag because it looks like so much like a Russian flag. Starting today, Russia will be very limited in purchasing international software for government branches. Since the beginning of military operation on Ukraine, around 92% of Russians said that they will postpone their big purchases. The European Bank of Reconstruction and Development estimates that the GDP of Ukraine will fall by 20% in this year alone, though however next year it is expected to increase by 23%. The Prime Minister of Italy, Mario Draghi, was speaking on the phone earlier today with Vladimir Putin, and these are four main things that Putin mentioned. First of all is that it is very early to talk about in-person meeting between him, Vladimir Putin, and President Zelensky. Second, that the conditions to cease the fire are far from being met. Third is that Russia indeed experiences bad effects after the sanctions. And fourth is that Russia will honor existing gas contracts, which basically means that countries will be able to pay in euros and dollars. In this pie chart you can see the biggest countries manufacturers of nickel, and one of the most common uses of nickel is in electric vehicle batteries. So in case Russia is heavily sanctioned or doesn't want to sell its nickel to unfriendly countries, electric vehicles might lose around 17% of their battery supply. The Russian currency ruble has been strengthening against US dollar for the last couple of days. And just as a reminder, at some point for $1 people were ready to give 140 Russian rubles. At this very moment it is approximately 81 rubles per dollar. In addition to Russian currency being very resilient, the Russian stock exchange is also demonstrating very good signs. Just today alone the Moscow Exchange Index rose by approximately 5%. In this graph we can see the countries with the most sunflower oil production, with the two top being Ukraine and Russia. Now you would obviously imagine that since they're at war, the production is not at the same levels. And to say the least, we can definitely expect the sunflower oil prices to go up significantly. According to this graph, we can see that many international investors are also leaving European markets. There can be many assumptions why are they doing this, but the general summary is that they're afraid of destabilization of the situation in Europe. According to this research paper by the International Monetary Fund, the strength of the US dollar as the main reserve currency is weakening. Because as you can see right here, the share of the reserves held in the US dollars by central banks dropped by 12%. It used to be approximately 71% in 1999, and now it's only around 59% in 2022. It is also this article, which is according to the first deputy managing director Gita Gopinath of the International Monetary Fund, that sanctions against Russia can and most likely will weaken the US dollar. The US magazine New York Post did this article, which basically says that Russia is still bombarding Ukraine despite peace talk claims. With only one problem here is that this specific picture is a civilian building in Donetsk region, which was allegedly destroyed by Ukrainian army. And by the way, if you like this bite-sized format of news reporting, you're more than welcome to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also feel free to share this video with your friends or anywhere else you want. Thank you so much for your attention, stay safe and see you tomorrow.